Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
We got a couple things we want to talk about, but one of the things we got to talk about, and you got to know this, and I'm telling you, I have people come into my shop every day that are talking about this, and they say, see, I told you, George, I told you. I didn't think it was going to be this abrupt, but we have seen it's like somebody threw the anchor out on electric vehicle sales. Here, I'll give you a classic example. And Charles, this is big time. The Los Angeles Auto Show. Check this out. The Los Angeles Auto Show usually serves as a showcase for snazzy new electric vehicles, apropos for California and its car buyers, which represent the nation's biggest EV market, electric vehicle market. Well, they do. Instead, now in 2023 at this LA Auto Show, Los Angeles, will be an outlier, turning the spotlight on crossover vehicles with a smattering of powertrain offerings. Automakers increasingly are opting to debut new vehicles outside of the National Auto Show circuit, leaving this year's LA lineup under the influence of product life cycles and timing. Are you familiar with this, Chuck? In other words, they're saying that the timing is wrong.
Okay.
The cycling is almost come to an end.
Okay.
It's just not good. It's just not good. Here, Stellantis turned down $1 billion offer from Michigan to make an EV battery plant. They're just gonna overhaul the one they got in Indiana and make it a little bigger, because the fate of the site, Michigan's most prized piece of mega development, really ready land, is now in question after Ford said it was halting its project. But they're talking about the slowdown in demand for the batteries, which, of course, are for the cars, and there's a slowdown in demand for the cars. It's just, it's a little on the scary side that this billions of dollars was invested and are being invested, and it's still is starting to slow down. That's not a good sign. Turkey's Koch Holding said it revoked an agreement with Ford Motor and South Korean battery maker LG Energy Solution for a joint venture to produce battery cells for commercial electric vehicles. The three companies signed a non-binding agreement in February to form a joint venture to create one of Europe's biggest electric vehicle battery cell factories near Turkey's capital of Ankara. Considering the current pace of electric vehicle adoption, okay, they stopped short of saying sales. It's adoption now. The timing is not appropriate for a battery cell investment, Koch Holding said in a statement to the public disclosure platform Friday. Ford and Koch Holding will remain committed to support electric vehicle production at Ford Otosan's Coachella plant, and will evaluate potential battery cell investment in the future in line with the dynamics of the electric vehicle market. The electric vehicle market, which is dwindling. Can you say dwindling, Charlie? It's dwindling. Here, electric vehicle shares they hit 7.4% in the U.S. through the quarter three of this last quarter. Electric vehicle registrations grew at a robust pace through the third quarter of this year, with electric vehicle share rising to 7.4% of the U.S. market, according to Experian. Hell, I thought it was at 7% before. The most recent registration numbers show strong demand despite automaker concerns that electric vehicle supplies are getting ahead of sales volume. Are we having this is automotive news, and are they twisting the news for the manufacturers? With Tesla Inc. leading the way, electric vehicle registrations rose 61% from in the January to September period to 854,000, Experian said. 852,904 to be exact. If the pace continues through the end of the year, 2023 will be the first time electric vehicles break the 1 million mark in a calendar year. Yeah, well, don't hold your breath. A year earlier, EV share, electric vehicle share, was 5.2% from 530,418 registrations. Experian said at the time Tesla had nearly 2/3 of the electric vehicle market, as legacy brands and startups were still ramping up production. California is still buying Teslas. Tesla's share fell to 57.4% through September of this year as electric vehicles chipped away at the leader. Why is everybody else quitting electric vehicles, or not quitting, backdooring them? They're slowing them down. Charlie, I got a story here that it's what I said.
Okay.
It's what I've always said. Hydrogen thinks it can do it all. This is a great breakthrough. Green vehicles mean battery-powered vehicles, right? No. That's the message we're being fed on a daily basis by most of the world's car makers, as well as the legislators who are introducing zero-emission laws that look set to kill off combustion engines by proxy. But having got off to a slow start in the green race, hydrogen power is shifting into high gear, winning fans in industries as varied as motorsport, trucking, and plant machinery. And it might even save our beloved combustion engines from extinction. Hydrogen technology is actually hydrogen technologies, because the fuel offers two possible solutions to companies looking to build clean vehicles and machinery. The one we've probably heard the most about over the last 25 years is the hydrogen fuel cell, whereby hydrogen is converted into electricity that powers the vehicle, and the only emissions being water. This is tech you'll find in cars like Toyota Mirai, and it also is it's also the answer in the long-distance trucking industry. They think it's better than battery-powered for semis, although Tesla would beg to differ. And Tesla's, battery-powered. But hydrogen can also be used in a totally different and rather familiar way. It can be used as a replacement for gasoline and diesel in combustion engines. I've always said this, Charlie. Engines in everything from the race cars to cement mixers. As Automotive News pointed out in a recent article, why did they say so much good stuff about the electric cars? You might recall that Toyota showcased a hydrogen-fueled version of its GR Yaris and then campaigned a hydrogen GR86 in a Japanese race series. Le Mans will allow hydrogen engines from 2025 and on, and through current F1 rules, although the current F1 rules don't allow it. It seems highly likely that they'll change their tune as the pressure for motorsport's top tier to go green, it gets intense. Far away from the racetrack, but possibly instrumental in building the next ones, is a new prototype concrete mixer, jointly developed by Cummins and Terex, that features a hydrogen-fueled combustion engine. Cummins likes hydrogen because it matches the power density and operational range of traditional diesel engines while eliminating carbon emissions. The actual burning of these of hydrogen, the actual burning of it, it cleans the engine, it cleans the air as we drive, almost like a tree. I mean, it takes in this, and the chemical reaction I'd have to explain to you, and I don't know if I understand it, so I'm not going to get into it right yet. But they are taking the very same car you have, but making it run clean on hydrogen. Now, what does that take? Probably a couple $2 billion of investment, not the hundreds of billions that they've already put into electricity, Chuck.
Right.
We got trouble. Charles, this is they have billions and billions and billions developed or put into battery development, new battery plants, new car plants, new electric engine plants, chemical retraction out of the ground. And to tell you that electric car is green is an out-and-out lie. It's not green. It's not green at all. I saw them. They're putting up some Tesla charging stations at a local mall here.
Yep.
And I saw them the other day, and I drove over because there's a brick building in between. There's 2 rows of them. One went this way, one went that way, and in the middle is a brick building. And they didn't have the door on the brick building yet, but what's in there?
A generator.
A diesel generator.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's hydrogen.
I think they're going to run it on natural gas, which doesn't put out anything either. But they just we have a big choice to make in America. What we're going to do about this, because the electric vehicle, the people that are behind it, whoever it is, are still pushing, but they're pushing for all the wrong reasons. And I have not talked to one of my customers, not one. And I talk to anywhere from 20 to 40 people a day, either on the phone or in person. And none of them want an electric vehicle. It doesn't suit their lifestyle. They don't want the cost of it. They don't want the maintenance of it. They don't want anything. They would rather have a hydrogen vehicle.
So I had a couple stories to relate to what you're talking about. There's one I was reading here that says that Toyota is going to be doing some hydrogen van testing in Australia, and they consider Australia to be the perfect test bed for this technology because, as we talked about, you know, I've never been to Australia, but it's one of those places where it seems like it would be a lot easier to get hydrogen to, you know, across the country as opposed to.
Well, that's the other thing. They got to
charging.
have a lot of roads that are long and winding and don't have any gas stations on them.
Right. So they're testing this prototype van. They're testing a couple different vans and different vehicles because they called it impractical for most motorists in Australia to go electric. And that's something that, you know, you've talked about quite a bit. And I think it would be interesting to see how this works out, because if this goes well and we see a country as large as Australia making this decision and saying we're going to install hydrogen pumps at traditional gas stations or however they end up doing it, it saves all that hassle of putting in electric charging stations and things like that.
Well, I'm no engineer, Chuck, but you are. So why can't we have the electricity generated by the alternator on the vehicle be enough electricity to mix with water and make our own hydrogen while the car's driving?
Well, that's like the water car then.
It's a water car.
The last guy who came up with that idea had an accident, so I'd be careful what he was having dinner and
What, he wet the bed or what?
No, he was at dinner and he yelled they poisoned me, and that was the end of that. But so 2 more stories, and one relates to what you just said. The other one I want to talk about was that so New York City had been experimenting with electric snow plows and basically garbage trucks. So they had garbage trucks that get outfitted with plows for the winter. And so they have pulled the plug on that project. They said while they did work fine for picking up garbage, they only lasted about 2 hours when it came to plowing.
In the cold,
which, as it turns out, it's not good to run 2 hours and have to take a couple hour break.
Oh, the cold weather, 2 hours probably gets you where you got to go to plow.
Right. You do a circle,
doesn't
come
get
back,
you home.
and charge, and
doesn't get you home.
And everybody's waiting around going, "Where's the plows at?" But there was another interesting story, and I don't know if you've seen this yet, that Toyota has announced that the Camry will be going hybrid.
Yes.
So sort of to your point about instead of going all EV, you still have that hybrid option where you can do both. And so I assume that most hybrids still have, you have a traditional gas engine that's basically a generator, but you also have a plug.
Yeah, so you plug in like for 110, you can plug them into your house.
Right. So, but again, it's sort of one of those things where ideally I'm going to use electricity, but if I can't, if I'm going on a long trip, I can still get gas. And to me, that always seemed, and the Camry is sort of like one of those cars that's ubiquitous. Everybody had a Camry. All these people, like probably one of the most popular cars ever built. And the fact that they're saying
it is one of the most yeah.
So instead of saying we're going EV, we're saying we're not doing anything. They said, well, best of both worlds. We're going hybrid. So they are announcing. So I'm trying to see here, 2025.
See, but by no means is that a green car.
Right.
It's not an eco car.
Yeah.
It's not saving the planet. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's just different, and it's being pushed by people that are making money off of this deal or going to make money, and it's just being pushed. And I don't think that the hybrid is nice. I have a granddaughter that has a Ford Fusion hybrid. She loves it. She has no problems with it. Gets great mileage. Yada yada yada. But she's a college grad, and right away that's a green car to her. And I said, no, it's not.
Right.
It's not green.
It feels great.
It feels green. Yeah, it does feel green and slimy. Let me just tell you, you're not driving a green car. You're
right.
just not. That's just how it works. Anybody that tells you any different is lying to you.